The storm had been raging for hours. Rain hammered against the windows of Sarah's late grandmother's house, the wind whistling through cracks in the old wooden frame. The house had been empty for months, but tonight, something compelled Sarah to return. She wasn't just seeking memories, she was seeking answers. The attic had always been a place of mystery. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling, and the air smelled of dust and old wood. As Sarah climbed the narrow steps, the floorboards groaned beneath her feet. Her eyes scanned the room, old trunks, forgotten furniture, stacks of yellowed papers. It felt as though the attic itself was holding its breath, waiting. In a dark corner, she noticed a small wooden box, its surface scratched and worn with age. Curiosity prickled at her. She knelt, brushing off dust and cobwebs, and opened it. Inside lay a single envelope, sealed with red wax, bearing no name. Her heart thumped. The envelope seemed to vibrate with anticipation, as if it carried a message that had waited decades to be discovered. Breaking the seal, she unfolded the paper. The handwriting was elegant but hurried, almost panicked. If you are reading this, you are in danger. There are truths about our family that must remain hidden. Sarah froze. Danger? Her grandmother had never mentioned anything like this. The letter spoke of a love affair, a betrayal, and a secret so dangerous it could shatter everything she thought she knew. The words were heavy with urgency, their meaning amplified by the storm raging outside. As she read further, she became aware of a soft creak behind her. The attic door moved slightly, as if someone had brushed against it. Her pulse quickened. Was it the wind or something else? The letter continued. Thomas was never safe. Neither was I. And now, decades later, the danger returns. Trust no one. Sarah shivered. Thomas, her grandmother's secret love. Questions swirled in her mind. Why had her grandmother never mentioned him? Why was this letter hidden? And most terrifyingly, who had written it? Sarah spent the next day unraveling the threads of Thomas's life, following the breadcrumbs left in her grandmother's letters. The rain had stopped, but a heavy mist clung to the streets as she visited the town archives. Faded newspapers, brittle letters, and old photographs slowly painted a haunting picture. Thomas had been more than a secret lover. He had been involved in dangerous affairs that could have cost lives. Her grandmother's warning wasn't just a story. It was a shield that had protected her family for decades. One envelope contained an address, an abandoned cabin on the outskirts of town. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah made her way there. The path was overgrown, and the trees cast eerie shadows that seemed to follow her with every step. The cabin looked as though it had been forgotten by time. Broken windows, rotting wood, and a heavy door barely hanging on its hinges. A chill ran down her spine. Inside, dust coated every surface. Boxes of letters and photographs were scattered across the floor. Sarah carefully sifted through them, her hands trembling. One photograph made her pause. Her grandmother, young and radiant, standing next to Thomas. Both looked tense, almost afraid, and in the background the faint outline of a third figure loomed. The letters were even more alarming. They spoke of secret meetings, threats, and coded messages, meant to protect Thomas and her grandmother from a dangerous group pursuing them. Sarah realized that her grandmother had lived a life far more complicated than she had ever imagined. The love story she thought was simple was intertwined with betrayal, fear, and survival. As she examined the documents, she became aware of a faint sound, the crunch of leaves outside. Someone was approaching the cabin. Panic surged through her. She hid the letters in her coat and peeked through the cracked window. A shadow moved among the trees, deliberate, cautious, as if hunting for her. Sarah's mind raced. The warning in the letter was clear. Trust no one. Heart pounding, she fled into the misty woods, clutching the envelope close to her chest. Each step echoed in the silence, every crack of a branch sending shivers down her spine. For the first time, the past felt dangerously alive. Sarah knew one thing. The answers she sought would not come easily. The secrets her grandmother had protected were not just history. They were a living threat. And as she reached the edge of the forest, she realized that uncovering the truth might put her in the same danger that had haunted her family for decades. The night had fallen again, thick and suffocating. Sarah returned to her grandmother's house, carrying the letters, photographs, and the mysterious envelope. The wind howled around the corners of the old building, and shadows danced like specters across the walls. She had pieced together most of the story, but one question remained. Who was still after the secrets, and why now? As she stepped into the attic, the air grew heavy. Every creak of the floorboards echoed through the empty room. Sarah spread the letters across the dusty table, trying to connect the final dots. Suddenly, the door slammed shut behind her. Her heart raced. A figure emerged from the darkness, a man, tall, masked, silent. Panic surged through her. He moved deliberately toward her, and Sarah realized this was no random intruder. This was someone who knew about Thomas, about her grandmother, and about the dangerous secrets they had kept. "Who are you?" she demanded, her voice trembling. The figure didn't answer. Instead, he reached for the letters on the table. Sarah grabbed the wooden box and ran, racing through the dim hallways. Rain lashed against the windows as she reached the front door, but the man was fast. She could hear his footsteps pounding behind her, echoing through the empty house. Desperate, Sarah remembered a line from the letter. "The truth is worth risking everything for, but only if you are brave." She took a deep breath, clutched the box tightly, and sprinted toward the police station, the storm raging around her. By the time she reached safety, drenched and exhausted, the officers quickly secured the letters and photographs. Investigation revealed the dangerous connections Thomas had been caught in decades ago. A criminal operation, long dormant, but still with remnants willing to kill to keep the past buried. Sarah realized the danger her grandmother had shielded her from, and how close she had come to sharing the same fate. In the aftermath, Sarah returned to the attic one last time. She carefully placed the letters and photographs back in the wooden box and closed it. The storm had cleared, leaving a quiet calm that felt almost sacred. She understood now that her grandmother's life had been defined by courage, sacrifice, and love that endured even under threat. The secrets had been heavy, but they were also a testament to resilience. Sarah whispered softly, "Your story is safe now. I will honor it." As she left the house, a final breeze rustled the letters in the box, almost as if the past itself was acknowledging her bravery. And somewhere deep within the shadows, Sarah felt a presence, watchful, protective, finally at peace. The hidden letter had revealed more than secrets. It had revealed strength, courage, and the enduring power of love, even in the darkest, most dangerous times.